You do not have to end up like your parents. You are not your parents. And also, when you start manifesting consistently and life starts getting really good for you, and you get the next job or money starts flowing into your business and your sales are increasing, you get an amazing relationship, things just start going your way, energy starts flowing, there may be a fear that pops up for you. And it's very important that you don't listen to that fear that says, all of this could go away very soon. In today's episode, we're talking about upper limits. We're talking about breaking generational patterns and overcoming the fear that you are somehow going to end up exactly like your parents. I am so excited for this conversation, but first I have to tell you, I got everything that I wanted on Black Friday, which I know some people aren't shopping. Here's my perspective on that, actually, because I think it's a really good one. On the one hand, is there corporate greed and bullshit in this country? Yes. On the other hand, do I believe, based on the law of attraction, do I believe that the answer to overcoming corruption and greed and blah, 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 blah is in creating your own personal suffering? No, I do not. In other words, I deserve to have a happy holiday season. Listen. If you've been making multiple six figures, if you've been making six figures for the past several years, and every single time you have Christmas, you go all out and you do all of the shopping and blah, 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 and you are sick of the overconsumption and blah, 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 and this year you're just not doing it because you're fed up, I think that that's amazing. I think that that's wonderful. A bitch like me just started celebrating Christmas last year. Right? Where I have been financially, I have not been in a place to celebrate Christmas. I just celebrated my first real adult Christmas that I created myself last year. And this year, I'm looking forward to that again. So I'm going to get the tree and I'm going to get the lights. I've been thinking about how I want to decorate my tree. Send me an email or send me a DM or comment on this on YouTube and tell me, how are you decorating your tree if you're choosing to decorate? If you're not choosing to decorate, if you're not choosing to celebrate, that is fine. That is okay. But I am going to, because like we've been talking about for the past year, especially within this current administration, you cannot take my joy. I cannot afford to lose my joy. Christmas is like, this is my favorite time of the year. This is my favorite holiday. I really love Halloween, and that would have been my favorite holiday for many, many years. But in recent years, Christmas is becoming my favorite holiday again. I need that Christmas magic. I need that Christmas spirit, and I want to have a beautifully aesthetically pleasing Christmas decorated home, and I want gifts under my tree, and I want to feel satisfied as I check off the things that I have put onto my list. That's important to me. It brings me joy, and I want pleasure. We are all moving towards a world where we all have more pleasure. And the answer to creating a world where there's more pleasure is literally you living a life where you allow yourself to receive more pleasure. More money in your bank account, that's more pleasure. More sales coming into your business, that's more pleasure. More spending money for your outfit and your wardrobe. Oh my God, I got these 2 pairs of shoes on sale at Macy's. I'll talk about that in a second. More money in your pocket so that you can buy more shoes, so that you can expand your wardrobe. You want your dream wardrobe, you want more pleasure. You want to be traveling the world, you want more pleasure. It's going to be a pleasurable experience to fly first class. It's going to be a pleasurable experience to stay at really nice, comfortable hotels. It's going to be a pleasurable experience to wake up every morning, walk out onto your driveway, get into your dream car, and drive off on your commute to work. It is a pleasurable experience to be able to call a driver instead of having to take the subway, right? Pleasure. Everything that you want, every desire that you have is rooted in your desire for a more pleasurable life. A world wherein there is equity among races, among sexes, and people are being supported and helped to move from poverty to a place of safety and security, to a place of abundance, to a place of being able to thrive. That is a world where there is more pleasure. In other words, from a law of attraction perspective, I do not personally believe that we are going to achieve world peace and satisfaction by robbing ourselves. Listen, if you are going to boycott a company because you don't need whatever from that company, and you are able to shop somewhere else because that's something that's actually meaningful to you, I think that you should do that. And also, there are people who are living in food deserts. There are people who the only market that they have is their local Walmart. I think that they should be shopping at Walmart. If you want to get a tree from Walmart, because I don't even know if they sell trees at Walmart, but if they do and you want to get one there because that's the best option for you and your family, I think that you should. And I think that we can hold two things at once. Because even though certain corporations might do terrible, horrible shit, and even though Walmart might purposefully pay their people just enough so that they can stay on food stamps and all of this other fucked up, terrible shit, those people are still getting a paycheck. And I'm not saying that a little bit is better than nothing. I'm saying that we can hold the vibration of two things at once. I'm saying there can be a level of gratitude because certain corporations are providing jobs for people, and that is supporting my local economy, it's supporting my country economy, it's supporting my global economy. I can have appreciation for that. And at the same time, I can hold the perspective, I can hold the vision of lives getting drastically better. I can hold the vision of other women rising up in the ranks. I can hold the vision of women and people of color. I can hold the vision of people of diverse backgrounds stepping into positions of leadership within companies and corporations because they are the leaders of their minds. And when that happens, we all know what happens when there is diversity in leadership. We all know what happens when there are different people from different perspectives, from different walks of life, who've had different experiences, that are on those boards, that are in the C-suite, that are making choices and decisions, not just for the company, but for the communities that are being served. We need you to get in the room so that you can make those changes. And even if you're not going to get in those specific rooms to make those changes, I need you to be strong enough to build a company and to build a corporation that can really be sustainable and can go up against these shitty corporations, right? The grocery store that you're creating can become a countrywide or a citywide or a statewide franchise, right? But it's not going to grow and expand into that if you aren't allowing yourself to receive pleasure. If your answer to seeing things that dissatisfy you is to run away and hide, I've got some issues with just boycotting for the sake of boycotting. Are you not shopping at Target until they bring DEI back, or are you never shopping at Target ever again? I don't understand the goal of that particular boycott. I'm not saying Target is my favorite place to shop. I'm not saying Target is the number one place that I go. I'm saying it doesn't make sense for me. So I'm not somebody who's going to rally behind something that doesn't really make sense for me. When I shop at my local Target, it might not be a bulk of the money that I am paying, but some of that money gets paid out to the employees of that Target. And that money helps them buy groceries. And that money helps them take care of themselves and their families. When I shop at my local Target, I am stimulating my local economy, and I like that. If everybody stopped shopping at Target, then those employees would be laid off or those employees would be fired. I don't know what happens when they close down a store, right? Those employees would not be making that money. I don't consider that to be a personal victory just because somebody somewhere higher up in the food chain possibly felt and was impacted by that loss. So there's two sides to every conversation. And you get to be the leader of your mind, so you get to make the choices that are right for you. What I'm saying is, I believe in pleasure. What I'm saying is, I'm going to have an amazing Christmas time. What I'm saying is, I'm going to have an amazing Christmas time because I am building out the belief and expectation that I get to have an amazing Christmas time. I'm saying that I am going to have an amazing Christmas time because I went years without having gifts. And now that I get to be in a place where I get to check off shit off my list and I get to get myself the shit that I want and the shit that I need and the shit that I desire, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to relish in that, right? And that's not a crime. That's okay. So if nobody has told you this lately, it's okay to be enjoying your life. It's okay to be happy. It's okay to be the woman who is talking about her amazing things or who is doing grocery store hauls, even though there are people who are starving. If you do not want to see someone doing a grocery haul, then you can scroll past it. But there's somebody like me who was going times where she did not have the money to go and get groceries, right? There is somebody out there who is watching your video and receiving inspiration. There's somebody out there who is watching your video and going, I cannot wait for the day that I can go grocery shopping and I can walk out of the store with more than 2 bags. I can't wait for the day that I can go grocery shopping and I can buy the name brand thing instead of the store brand cheaper thing, which people say that they don't, that they taste the same. It's the same exact thing. No, the fuck it is not. Great Value, that's like the Walmart brand, right? The Great Value fucking brand, it does not taste the same. It does not taste the same. So fuck off. It does not taste the same. Anyway, if you want to have an experience where you want your life to get better and you finally get put in a position where your life can get better, I believe that you should relish in that enjoyment and you should relish in that pleasure. You are worthy of that. You deserve that. And from that place, you can help other people experience that pleasure and experience that enjoyment and experience that goodness. You can help them get to where you are. But there is a certain idea and concept. Some people call it class solidarity, which I'm not saying that class solidarity is bad or anything like that, but sometimes when people are talking about class solidarity, what they're actually describing is commiserating. I'm not going to betray you, and so I'm going to stay and I'm going to be miserable with you because fuck those other people who are having a good time in their life. And I don't believe that that helps us achieve world peace and world pleasure. I never said class solidarity was bad. I never said anything about that. I said sometimes people are saying the phrase class solidarity. Really, they are describing commiserating. How dare you be happy because I'm unhappy? And if you really cared about me, then you would be unhappy with me. But that's not true. It's my belief that if you really cared about people, you would help them to become happy in the way that you are. You would help them to become satisfied in the way that you are. That's what I do for my job. That's what I do in my business. Hi, you're listening to Naked and Noisy, Manifestation Tools for the Professional Woman. I'm your host, Natalie Hughes. I'm a life mindset and manifestation coach. I'm really good with business and mindset mentorship. And in my business and on my platform and on this podcast, I help professional women to co-create emotionally fulfilled and purpose-driven lives for themselves. I walk it like I talk it. So, there's that. There's my thoughts on that. So I did some Black Friday shopping and I literally had 3 different tabs open of what I wanted, and I did some budgeting and moving things around, and I ended up getting everything that I wanted. I got a new set of pajamas. I'll get myself even more of my favorite set of pajamas for Christmas, but I got a new Christmas set of my pajamas. I got some Christmas sheets just because the sheets that I was looking at, they've got some really good reviews online, and they didn't have black, which I always love black, but I feel like I'm moving towards not having black sheets all the time. So this is like me meeting in the middle. I got these white sheets with red bows on them. So I'm really excited to get those because it'll be like a Christmas surprise, because my duvet is black. So my bed will look mostly black with maybe the couple of white and red bowed, it's red bows on a white background, so a couple pillows up top. And then when you like open, the bed and the sheets, it'll be like, oh my God, Christmas surprise. So I'm very excited about that. I got some pajamas, which also have red bows on them. So I don't know what the fuck is going on, but it's looking like red bows are a thing this Christmas. Also, in terms of the Christmas tree, I'm thinking I saw maybe we need some red bows for Christmas. What is going on with red bows? No, maybe I'll do red bows on my gifts. I don't know about red bows yet, but what I know is this. I saw this video on Instagram, and it was this woman. She was decorating her tree, and she had these like little icicle things. Oh my God, so cute. And also I'm loving like tinsel. Is that what that's called? So I'm thinking I want to get some tinsel. I'm thinking I want to get some icicles, and I really like white lights or like yellow lights. So we might be doing another white tree or something. I don't know yet. I'm not sure about that yet. So those are just my ideas for my Christmas tree that I want to share with you. So I got that. I also got 2 pairs of shoes that were on sale on Macy's. Like I literally was just like looking through the Macy's website for all of their Black Friday. And I was at Macy's because, tell me if you guys are also like this. I am someone who, I think it's just because of how I was raised, but I just think that certain things should be bought at certain stores. Are those called department stores? Macy's, JCPenney's, Kohl's. Like if you're going to get pots and pans, I think you should get them from Macy's, JCPenney's, or Kohl's. Like if you're going to get sheets or towels, then they should come from Macy's, JCPenney's, or Kohl's. Like I think that that's just how I was raised, and I think that that's just how my mom shops. So like that's how I shop. But yeah, so I was on the Macy's website looking for sheets because I'm like, ooh, they probably have some good deals on sheets. I did get a pretty good deal. I got these sheets. They're like $140 off. And yeah, so I'm really excited to get those sheets, and hopefully they're not going to be too warm for me. I'm going to have to get another pair of sheets that will be cooler, but it's winter time. And so it really is time for me to be cozying up within my sheets and warm, so I think I'll be fine. Anyway, I got these shoes that I found on sale, and I think I haven't had a pair of Steve Madden shoes since I was graduating from the 8th grade. I had these wedges, and they were Steve Madden, and they were so cute, and they had like this kind of like orange outline detail, and it just felt very grown up at the time. Like, yeah, go diva. My 8th grade graduation was my best graduation. And yeah, so I'm excited. I got some shoes. They're like a cheetah print mesh, so I'm super excited to get those in. And then I saw these shoes from Guess, which I'm not really a Guess girly. I've never really been into Guess in that way, but I saw these shoes and they had like this, like, first it was cheetah print. I looked closer at the cheetah print. I'm like, oh no, I don't like this. But then they have these kind of like monogrammed ones, which they actually look really cute. So I was like, you know what? Like, I kind of want to get this. And so now I have a vision for an outfit, which requires a different pair of pants. So I think I'm going to get myself the other pair of pants for Christmas. But regardless, it's going to be super duper cute. So I got that. And then I also got some stuff to do my nails. I need to learn how to do a proper Gel X nail set because I've been craving having my nails done, but the prices that are going on with the nail techs lately is absolutely ridiculous. Now, you guys know me. You know that my plan for my wedding is $250,000 top budget, no more, no less. That does not include the wedding dress, and that also does not include the hair and makeup, and that also does not include the hotel rooms, because I feel like we should pay for our guests' hotel rooms. Like, I don't know, I just really feel like we should. Anyway, the point that I'm making is I have no problem spending money. I have no problem planning to spend money. But let me tell you something. I'm not going to spend $200 a month. We can round it up because it's close enough. $100 per session. I am not going to spend 200 fucking dollars per month to come into your shop and not have the best experience of my fucking life. You want to raise your prices? I think that's great. You consider yourself to be an artist? I absolutely agree. And I do believe that art should be celebrated and art should be paid. However, comma, I'm paying you money for artwork that's only going to last me 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. And if I go longer than 3 weeks, then I have to come in and I have to pay an additional fee for you to rebalance the apex. Baby, you got too much motherfucking dip on your chip. I went to the nail salon a couple of months ago and I had to pay an extra $2 for, I had to pay $5 a nail for the fucking cheetah print design. I think I had to pay $25 for the fucking, I had to pay like $15 to $25 for the white tip that I wanted, the French tip that I wanted. And I have to pay an extra $2 because you're not going to use the clear acrylic, you're going to use the colored acrylic, and that's a $2 fucking upcharge. I have no idea how much that little fucking thing of acrylic cost, the little acrylic powder. I have no idea how much it costs. I know for a fucking fact that shit is not $2 worth of acrylic that you're using every single time you do my motherfucking nails. You have way too much dip on your motherfucking chip. And I go into the nail salon. I know what the prices are. I've looked online. You're marketing yourself as a luxurious fucking service. When I walk into your motherfucking nail salon, the ambiance needs to be on point. You're going to be a fucking luxury service. You need to have a luxury fucking service. The environment needs to be a luxury service. I sat down, I'm getting my nails done. I call and I ask specifically for a woman. Everybody does not do nails the same. I looked at the picture of your different nail techs. Everybody does not have the same talent. I want the girl who did these Frenchies to do my Frenchies, period, full stop. She's there. Okay, perfect. I'm coming right now to meet her. Then we're getting halfway through my service. Oh, she has to leave. So somebody else is going to do your design? I came here. I called you specifically to get her. And she's done the shaping, which is lovely. But she's not going to do the actual fucking design? Somebody else is going to do the design? And then the bitch that comes over to do the design, we're talking about psychic gifts and abilities and all this stuff because I made the mistake of telling my first nail tech, who I actually liked, about it. Now, she's like, oh, can I tell the other lady, the boss, whatever? And I'm like, yeah, no big deal. Now, they're fucking hounding me. What do you see? What messages are you getting? You don't want to hear the messages that I'm getting. Because it's not from source energy. It's from my ancestors, and they're telling me I'm never going to come here ever fucking again. That's the messages I'm receiving. Is that I don't like you and I don't like this shop. Oh my God. And honestly, I feel so bad because I feel like I'm having like a Doja Cat moment because I was being really nice and having like a really fun response. Like it was fine, but was it, if I had paid $50, fine. If I had paid $50, fine. I walked out of there, that was the fucking price. And then she tells me the price and I'm like, wait a second, why is there extra numbers? This is not the price that was told to me. Oh, it's more if you want to do card, but if you send it to us through Zelle, then you don't have to pay that. Okay. When you're training your fucking employees, you need to be communicating to people that and telling them that. There's an extra charge for card. You just added some more fucking money onto the top of every fucking thing? And we're gonna tell me shit? So anyway, I'm getting my nail design from the second tech. This is a 2.5 seconds, but apparently I needed to get this out. I'm getting the nails done. So we're talking about astrology. We're talking about psychic gifts. This woman doing my nails, she says she's a Scorpio moon. Oh, brother. No shade to the Scorpio moons out there. My own mother is a Scorpio moon, and that's why I say, oh, brother. She has a Scorpio moon. She's like, yeah, I used to be really into astrology, but then I grew out of it. Now, why are you being shady? When I'm talking about my work, my life's purpose, my passion, and my reason for being, what kind of customer service sense does that make? To piss off your customer. When the whole entire time that I'm in the salon, we're having a conversation about the fact that you don't have any customers and you're really stressed out about not having any fucking customers. Why would you unprompted talk shit to one of the few customers you do have? That doesn't make any sense. So anyway, I have to master the Gel X set. I did one for myself. I didn't like the length, so then I didn't do it again. But I need to do it again. And I got different tools and I got everything that I needed, literally, because I was like, no, I need this shit. I really feel like I need my nails done. It's just a different energy. I'm a different animal when I have my nails done. So I need that. I needed a square and I needed a long oval shape. So I definitely had to get that. And what I was saying was I have to learn how to do the Gel X and I have to learn how to do a really good job doing my own nails because the salons and the at-home nail techs and everything is fucking ridiculous. I'm not going to pay you $100 to come and sit in your fucking home and I'm sitting in a chair that doesn't have a fucking back on it. Why would I do that? Why would I fucking do that? Too much dip on your chip. I'm not doing that. If I'm paying $200 a fucking month, because if I'm going to do it, then I want to come back for a fill. If I'm paying $200 a month, I need to go someplace that has a nice, comfortable chair. I need to go someplace that has some nice, good lighting. You need to have a certain kind of routine. You need to have a certain plan for how you treat customers and how you speak to them and interact with them. You need to be cutesy, mindful, and demure with me. Literally, this woman, the owner of this fucking store, sat there and hounded me. Basically asking me, begging me, what do you receive from me? What messages do you receive from me? Mind you, I had just pulled an all-nighter. I wasn't receiving any messages from anyone because it's not a fucking magic trick. And my energy levels have to be in a certain place for me to be able to channel really well and really easily. This is not Long Island fucking medium. And even if it was, you don't walk up to Teresa and say, what are you hearing from me? I told you that I do this for work. You're asking me to do it for free. But when I say, because we're overstepping boundaries and being unprofessional, when I say, maybe another time I'll come back and I'll do readings out of the shop. And when people come in, they can also do readings. They can also get readings. Maybe we'll have to do that sometime. Which is not an appropriate thing. If you're listening to this and you're a business owner, do not bring that up in the first conversation that you've met with someone because you don't know them. You don't have a relationship with them. But at that point, I have nothing left to lose. You don't see how fucking rude you're being? You don't see how disrespectful you're being? If there was a doctor that was sitting here in this chair, would you say, hey, there's a really weird rash that I have going on. Can you take a look at this? And when I asked her that, she made a really weird face. She obviously was put off by the idea. Of course you were put off by the idea. Because this is your business and you take it a certain level of serious. Because you don't know me and you don't know if my services are legit. So why would you create a collaboration between both of our businesses if I have not yet demonstrated that I have the abilities that I say that I do? And just on the opposite end. This is our first time meeting. And this is the way that you're behaving. Do you truly, genuinely, and authentically believe I'm having the kind of experience that I would want to go back for more of? And I literally never went back. Sometimes I have experiences where in the moment I feel like too much of a Pisces, or in other words, I kind of have like a fawn response of like, I'm hating myself here, but I just need to get through this moment. And then I leave and I'm like, oh my fucking God, I can never do that again. And that was my experience the last time I went to a salon. So I'm kind of anti-salon right now. I'm not saying I'll never have a nail tech. I'm not saying I'll never be back in a salon. I'm saying the next time I go to a salon, I'm willing to pay an arm and a fucking leg, but you need to make sure that it's worth that price. Amen. Amen. Anyway. So I got the stuff that I wanted for my nails, and I also got a thing for my tuning forks because I've been playing with them so much lately, and I needed the little puck. Okay, I have a little wooden like mallet thing, but it gets a little bit too loud, a little too high pitched, so I'm hoping that the puck will be even better. So I'm super excited about that. Okay, now let's talk about the upper limit. So recently I realized that I hit an upper limit when it comes to like my happiness and my finances. And when I say an upper limit, I don't mean I reached a peak amount of money and then my sales stopped. That's not what I mean, even though hitting your upper limit could look like that. I didn't just hit my upper limit for sales, I kind of hit my upper limit for pleasure. Okay, so this idea, the concept of an upper limit is basically this idea that says we all have a set amount of happiness, love, joy, good feelings that we are willing to allow ourselves to feel before we self sabotage. Okay. And then we start it all over again. Right. And so life is when you have your upper limits and you're not moving past them or growing and expanding those limitations or expectations, whatever, is you have great experience, great experience, great experience, great experience, and then boom, something negative happens. It knocks you off of that high flying disc, as Abraham Hicks would describe it, and then you're having a bad day, whatever. And then you maybe have a bad day, maybe have a bad week, maybe have a bad month, and then you get back to, okay, things are getting better again, things are getting better again, things are getting better again, right? Now, this can look, it doesn't have to look like a day, a month, it could look like a year. You could have a great fucking year, and then you have a year of shitty shit happening, and then you have a great year, right? This could look like it could look like a million different things, and I'm going to explain what it looked like for me. So hitting my upper limit was things getting so much better in business, sales being consistent, manifesting my desires for things like sales coming in daily in my business. And sometimes daily sales looks like getting a sale every single day, and sometimes daily sales looks like having a month where on average I had over one sale a day, right? So if I have a day where I have 20 sales or something like that, then I have basically averaged a sale a day, even though I've never looked at it like that. Or if I've ever told you I'm having daily sales, it hasn't looked like I got 20 sales one day and then I only got 10 other sales throughout the month. But sure, why not? If we're talking about like on average, right? So anyway, manifesting daily sales in my business, manifesting financial consistency, manifesting being able to pay all my bills and all of this stuff, things are going really good. Things are going great with my creativity. Things are going great with my goals. Things are going great with my manifestations. I'm experiencing so much happiness. I'm experiencing so much joy. And then boom, there's like this moment of drama. There's this moment of negativity. And I realized that I had hit an upper limit, or I was having an upper limit issue when I was sitting on the side of my house talking with my ancestors, smoking, which I haven't been doing very often. I've been taking a break. I was going to take a break until Christmas, but I ended up spending Thanksgiving by myself this year, which ended up being a super great blessing. It was me and the ancestors, and every single thing that I cooked was divinely fucking guided. And oh my God, that shit was so good. That shit was so fucking good. Bitch, I can cook. I can fucking cook. I thank you, Lord, that I can cook. Like, oh my God, I just feel like that energy of like the women who have come before me in my family line, like, ah, like I just feel like I have been blessed. Like, I just feel like, because cooking is a skill and we can all develop that skill. And also there are certain women in my family who are really, really good cooks, and everybody is not a really, really good cook. And I did not grow up in an ingredient household. I did not grow up in a household where delicious meals are being prepared regularly. That is something that I created, right? We've talked about this in other podcast episodes. Me being the woman who cooks more food was kind of born a little bit when I was in college, and I got an obsession with Trader Joe's. And so I would get Trader Joe's like frozen stuff, and then I would like cook the frozen Asian foods and stuff. So like that kind of was when I was starting to cook for myself regularly at like 19 years old, right, in 2018. But other than that, me really cooking meals and things like that was born from me not having the money to go out and get fast food, right? So that kind of started me spending more time in the kitchen. And then, of course, as I continue to grow and expand and I think about motherhood and the kind of mother that I want to be, and also the way that I want to feed myself things that nourish me and support me, it's just like I want to practice cooking more. I want to get even better. I want to, get some really awesome just like dishes under my belt. So I'm feeling really good about that, and I'm feeling so satisfied about that. So anyway, I had a great Thanksgiving. I'm sitting on the side of my house and I'm talking with my ancestors, and I'm feeling this like feeling of like drama and dread. So we've talked about spiritual warfare. I hate spiritual warfare. I'm really good at it. Um, I'm really, really good at it. I'm really good at protecting myself. I'm really good at taking care of myself. And this just makes sense, right? Because I'm a Scorpio rising and I have Mars and Scorpio in my first house. Martians are warriors, and that makes them protectors. And so somebody who has a lot of Scorpio placements or a lot of Aries placements, they're going to naturally be someone who's very protective of the people that they love, right? This is in general. This is when they're normal, healed, and different things like that. Sometimes that protectiveness just looks like them being protective of themselves. So again, it just depends on person to person. But in general, Martian people, Mars world people, Scorpio people, Aries people, they're going to be very protective of themselves and the ones that they love. So Martian people and Martian energies are the protectors and the defenders. I say all of this to say I'm very good at protecting and defending. I'm very good at spiritually and energetically setting powerful boundaries and kicking ass for the lack of a better phrase. You know what I mean? Like that's just something that I'm really gifted at. But I don't like engaging in spiritual warfare all of the time, because once you have a negative experience and a negative attack, this is also just me being a paranoid Scorpio. I once you have a negative thing that happens, then it's like this, like my amygdala is alerted. And so it just feels like I'm very hypersensitive to potential threats and things like that. And so then I'm like living on the edge of like, is something else terrible happening to me? So I'm very mindful of that fact. I know that I can get there. And so recently I had to do some stuff. I had to just clear, cleanse, and cut some energy and just up my protections and stuff like that, which is fine. I am okay, except I noticed myself moving into that pattern of paranoia of like, oh my God, like what if something is going to happen? Is something happening now? Is something coming? Like, you know what I mean? So I'm like freaking the fuck out, and I'm like, okay, Diva, like you're literally fine. So I'm talking with my spirit guides, my angels, and my ancestors, and they're basically just like, you're freaking out about this issue, which is really a non-issue because like I said, I kick spiritual ass, right? It's really a non-issue, and you have all of these other amazing things that are going on. You had an amazing mini mastermind, you had an amazing month, you are having record-breaking profits in your business in a way that is incredibly fucking passive, meaning I'm making more money than I've ever made before, and it's really requiring less work than it's ever required before. I'm getting in a really great groove. I'm getting a lot of money from the Google, right, via the YouTube ads and different things like that. Like things are really looking up. Like the diva's really, she's fucking taking care of business. Okay, this bitch is taking care of business. She's doing what she needs to do. I'm preparing to have an amazing December. I'm preparing for traveling in 2026. I know that the power that I know of I have a very clear and strong awareness of and confidence in my power as the manifestor, the co-creator of my physical reality. In other words, I know that when I expect it and when I believe for it, it is happening for me, it is coming in for me. And with that is a new level of excitement where it's like, I know that the money is coming, I know that the sales are coming, I know that the students are enrolling, and I know that the love is coming, I know that the relationship is coming, and all this stuff, right? So it's like all of this good stuff is happening, but you're focusing on the bad, you're focusing on the negative. And it hit me, and I said, oh my God. Oh my God. I've hit an upper limit. There's so much goodness that's happening, but a little teensy tiny negative thing happened, and I blew it up into this humongous drama that it never had to be. And why would you do that? You're sabotaging your own happiness. You're doing something that is knocking you down a couple of pegs emotionally. You've hit an upper limit. And then in my business, it's also looked like sales coming in, money coming in, women wanting what I have to offer. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And then this fear. What if it's going to stop? The income's getting higher and higher and higher. What if it's going to stop? The sales are coming in more and more and more. The sales are increasing in their frequency. The sales are increasing in their, what's that called? Amount? What's that called? What's the word for when you, the number of something, the amount of something? I feel like it starts with a G. They're increasing in their frequency, and like I'm getting sales more often, right? And the number of sales coming in more often is increasing. So instead of just one sale a day, it's 2 sales a day, it's 3 sales a day, it's 5 sales. You know what I'm saying? It's receiving hundreds of dollars daily in the business is becoming the norm, which is really hot and really sexy. So this idea and concept of what if it's stopping has been coming up for me, and it happens all the time. And the mindset shift there is the money doesn't have to stop for Beyonce, so the money doesn't have to stop for you. In other words, there are people that you know who have money and who have wealth, and the money is constantly coming in for them and it's not stopping for them, so it doesn't have to stop for you. When you are wealthy and you have an abundance of assets and you have an abundance of like investments, you have an abundance of businesses, sure, do sometimes your investments look different? Sometimes do you have days where there are losses, and especially if like fucked up shit is happening like in the stock market and things like that? Like, yeah, sure, absolutely. But when you have so much diversity, sometimes things can be looking a little bit low in one area, but they're also going to be looking up in another area. And when you have more than investments, but you also have businesses, you can be having some weird stuff going on within your, does your portfolio include like your businesses? I don't think so. You can have weird stuff going on within your portfolio, but things in your business can be good. And so in other words, when I think about Beyonce, I think about a woman who makes money every single day, no matter what, because Beyonce has listeners who are listening to her music every single day. And we don't have to get into the specifics. Oh my God, the streaming services don't pay worth the damn. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Because it's not about, I am the woman who has the receiver's mindset. So I'm not the woman who sits and finds ways to poke holes in stories that support me. In other words, I don't argue in favor of my own limitations. So the idea and the knowing and the confidence that Beyonce has millions of people who are tuning into her work every single day, those streams and that income is adding up and it's creating money and abundance for her. That's enough for me, right? The knowing that Beyonce has Sacred as a business, her hair care products, and that's generating money and income for her. And from what I've seen, record-breaking profits, right? That's enough. Knowing that Beyonce also has her, what is that thing called? I don't really like her politics, but I do like the way that she does business. She has that whiskey. Is that what that's called? Is it called whiskey? What is it? Yeah, it is whiskey. It is whiskey. I like whiskey. Yeah. It's whiskey, right? Anyway, she has that alcohol that I can't remember the name of for the life of me. So all of these different businesses are generating income and profits all of the time. Just because Beyonce has a good month in her business doesn't mean that the next month has to be bad. So if Beyonce can have consistency and Beyonce can have longevity, then so can I. Because if it's something that I can desire, like Abraham Hicks says, it's something that my physical reality can bring to me. And if it's something that somebody else is experiencing, if somebody else is experiencing consistency and somebody else is experiencing wealth growing and expanding and profits increasing in their business, and it's happening in my physical reality, that means I have an awareness of it. That means I can hear about it. Then it is proof that I get to have it. In other words, if I can see it in my physical reality, then it can happen for me. And, people have this belief and people talk about this, but they don't usually talk about it in a positive way. What do they say? They say, you have a greater chance of being homeless than you have of being a billionaire. They are saying, if people can experience homelessness around you and you can see that, then that can be you too. But because they have unsupportive thoughts and beliefs about money, they don't believe that money can flow. They also believe that they would be a bad person if they had wealth. They don't allow themselves to see that the opposite is true as well. If somebody has financial abundance in your physical reality, if they have that, then that can be you too. Then you can have that too. And the people who are increasing their profits and increasing their wealth and increasing their money, those are people who are willing to believe that as well. So, okay, we're hitting an upper limit, and how I shift my upper limit is saying, of course, the money can continue. If the money can continue for Beyonce, the money can continue for you. Now, that's one mindset shift that helps me. I do a lot of money mindset work. And so I'm giving you a mindset shift, but this is not the same as knowing how to change your mind, knowing how to build out a supportive belief system. In my day-to-day, moment-to-moment life, I am utilizing the tools that I have developed and gathered and learned over the years to shift and expand and solidify a supportive money mindset. Okay. So there's that mindset came through, which really, really helped me. That mindset shift and that reminder, which would be an affirmation, that affirmation came through, which helps me to understand it's okay to expect money to continue coming in. Now, this is a limiting belief that a lot of us and our upper limit sometimes looks like I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. The upper limit looks like if it's not one thing, it's another. This is about your expectations. What do you expect to happen for yourself in your life? Do you expect money to come in consistently? Do you expect money to be there for you reliably? Do you expect to be supported by money? Or do you expect negativity to come into your life consistently? Do you expect drama to come into your life consistently? I am somebody who has been for the past several years very anti-drama. So I hate having drama. Every once in a while, I am available to sip some tea. Every once in a while, I am available to hear what happened with such and such, and they said what, and then they did what, and then this happened, and oh my God, that's insane. But it does not happen all the time. It does not happen frequently. I am available for the catch-ups on a quarterly basis, maybe every 6 months, possibly once a year. I will be available for a little bit of the bullshit. But other than that, I do not engage in drama of any kind because it just creates more drama and more chaos in my life. I don't want that. I want safety. I want security. I want nervous system regulation. But I don't come from safety and security and nervous system regulation. I come from drama. And so when I hit that upper limit of the amount of happiness and joy and safety and security that I am willing to allow myself to receive for any one given moment of time, then I have a moment where there's some drama and there's some chaos and there's some negativity that happens and that pops up. And that's okay. I've been having a little bit of a dramatic time for the past month, which, summing up everything that I experienced during Scorpio season to drama is not entirely accurate. A lot of that stuff was coming up so that I could heal it and shift it. Anyway, the point that I'm making is at some point, you're going to have happiness and things flowing in. You're going to hit an upper limit. And basically, what that really looks like is your limiting beliefs getting triggered. It's the thought that says, can this keep coming in? Can I get to my next level? This has to stop. Something bad must be happening. Something bad must be coming. That's an upper limit. And so your job is moving through those unsupportive stories and beliefs, doing the mindset work that I teach you in courses like the Receiver's Mindset or courses like I Can and I Should, right? So you work through those things that are coming up, and then you get back into that vibration of positive expectation, expecting things to go your way, expecting safety and security, using your tuning forks if you got them, using earth sounds, Lam chakra, root chakra chants on YouTube. Hold on. Or doing meditations, doing EFT tapping, right? There's a lot of different ways, breath work. There's a lot of different ways to regulate your nervous system and bring yourself back to that moment of calm. So for me, as I'm preparing to, well, as business continues to grow and expand and I'm continuing to only increase it, I had a lot of negative beliefs come up around that. I also realized that I was having an upper limit issue with my love life and my romantic life. And that brings us to our last moment of the podcast when it comes down to parents and not being like your parents. I was sat on the side of my house talking with the ancestors and spirits and everything. And, this guy and this soulmate relationship and like all of these things, which just like kind of plagued me for a really long time, were coming up into my mind. And when I say plagued me, I just mean it was a source of chaos and confusion in my life. Not necessarily because of the person, well, a little bit because of the things that he didn't do, but not really because of the person, mostly because of me and my own stuff. So I was thinking about this person and I was thinking about this relationship and I was thinking about this connection and I was feeling this energy of sadness. And it's very interesting. I think about this guy and I think about other guys that I've talked to you guys about on the podcast all the time. And I had it's kind of like a parallel experience, but like an opposite experience. So years ago, there was a guy who I thought that I had to be in a relationship with. I thought that he was like my soulmate and my person, and I had to be in a relationship with him, but I didn't want to be in a relationship with him. I didn't want to be connected to him. I literally spent the entire relationship running away from the connection, but then coming back to the connection and then healing whatever inner children were triggered by him when I would go back to the connection, and then running away from the connection, coming back, healing the inner children that were triggered, running away from the connection, right? So it was literally like me thinking, I need to get out of this. I want to get away from this. I want to get away from this man. I don't want to be around this man. But then I would question myself and I would doubt, what if this is my person? And I'm really afraid that if I walk away from this, then I'm never going to have a love like this and blah, blah, blah. It's not true. Soulmates are a dime a dozen. If it's not this guy, it will be another guy. God hasn't forgotten about you, right? Just like a 2.5 thing of mindset shifts, if you can relate to that you need to hear. So boom, there's that. So then I was thinking about this guy and I was kind of comparing those two situations. And with this guy, I don't have any problems walking away from this guy. I don't have any problems walking away from this relationship because I'm really good at walking away from relationships. I'm really good at, I quote Beyonce on this all the time. I left a note in the hallway. By the time you read it, I'll be far away. I'm really, really good at this. And I was sitting and I was reflecting on it, and the difference is this feeling of like, I'm walking away from this connection and I'm walking away from this relationship, but there's a sadness within me and there's a feeling within me and there's like this like knowing within me that this is my person and like we're supposed to be together. It doesn't make sense. It's a psychic sense. It's a supernatural thing. It does not make any sense at all. It is the most illogical thing that's ever happened to me in my life, and it infuriates me. But then I think about myself and I think about the life that I'm creating, and what about my life and what about my business is logical? What about the life that I create is rooted in what makes sense? Everything that I create is based on a feeling. Everything that I create is based on a dream. Everything. The reason that I have the sales that I have in my business right now, the reason why I'm experiencing the success that I have in my business right now is because I felt in my heart and in my soul that this business was my destiny, and I decided that I was going to make it work because this is what I was supposed to be doing with my life. And now I'm here working with amazing women in my courses and in my programs, helping them to powerfully transform their lives and heal themselves and support themselves and become the leaders of their minds and their realities. I am doing this work and I am paying my bills and I'm paying my taxes, right? I'm doing all of these incredibly important things. And it's because I believed in myself and because of what I believed in my heart and in my soul. And so my same heart and my same soul is communicating to me that this guy is my person and we're supposed to be together. And it becomes infuriating because he's not communicating to me and committing to me. So it's like he's not communicating to me the things that are alive within him. So it's frustrating for me. So, okay, there's that experience. So I'm sitting and I'm talking with my spirit guides and my angels and my ancestors, and I'm realizing the difference between this dynamic and that other dynamic, where I was kind of trying to apply the same experience of the last relationship, but it's like I have no problem walking away from this guy. I'm okay feeling sadness. I'm okay moving through the energy and emotion of disappointment. I don't have that same sort of attachment as I did to the last guy. I just have this like feeling in my call and a calling like in my soul of what I see in my future looks like and who I see it being with. Like it's something that I can't change. It's something that I'm not forcing to happen. It's something that I'm not asking to happen. It's just this like consistent present thing that does not change. And I'm digging around in my fucking subconscious mind trying to find like where is it? Where is the root of my desire for this man? Where is it? I'm like, where is the trauma? Where is the thing that happened? Where is the abandonment? And I can't find it because it doesn't feel like it's coming from pain. It feels like it's coming from my higher self. It feels like it's coming from God. So I'm sitting here having all of these realizations and just like admitting this shit to myself and just like being honest with myself. And there's so much drama and there's so much chaos and there's so much confusion that has happened within me because I have not been honoring what's alive within me, what I want to desire. Ignoring your desires is one of the worst things that you can do because it creates chaos and it creates confusion, and you're walking around going, I don't know, but you do fucking know. You're just not honoring what's alive within you because of a million and one different things, right? You don't think you can get it. You don't think it's possible for you. You don't think it's available to you. All of this other stuff, whether it's romance or it's money or it's whatever, when you ignore your desires, you are not the leader of your life. Being the leader of your life and your reality and your world and your business and your career and your industry and your family, like it starts with honoring what is your heart's desire, what is alive within you. So, okay, that was a 2.5. Anyway, so I'm having this conversation with the spirits and I'm like, okay, divas, this is what I feel and this is what I think and this is what I want and this is what I feel called to and this is like what I desire. And I realized upon further conversation and reflection, in other words, I was coaching myself the way that I coach my clients, right? And so I'm like, what are you afraid of? And I'm like, well, I'm afraid that if I allow this relationship to come back into my life, or I allow this relationship to come into my life, and the two of us are in a committed relationship or whatever, then I will have made a terrible choice. I will have made a mistake, and I will continue making a mistake in my romantic life that not only ruins my life, but ruins the lives of my children. That is my fear. And when I said it out loud, I said, Oh, I know what you're afraid of. You're afraid of recreating your childhood experience. You're afraid of being the woman who makes one shitty choice and decision after another. And it never reaches any sort of conclusion, and it never reaches any sort of resolution, and it never reaches any sort of happy ending. And it's just the same cycle of bullshit. Breaking up, making up, tumultuous environment for yourself and for your children. You're the generational curse repeater. Lizzie McGuire is a generational curse repeater. And that's my fear. And so I didn't have to do a lot to shift that, because I just gave this mindset shift to one of my clients during the mini mastermind last weekend. By the way, this is the season 3 finale, but we are having the mini mastermind next weekend. There's only 2 spots left. I'm going to have the link for you to join. It's $50. It's, a meeting that takes place live on Zoom. It's going to happen December 6th and 7th, okay? From 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to switch and change some things up so that way we can stay within the time frame of 2 hours. Last week we were there for 6 hours. This week I don't want to do that again, so we're going to be tweaking some stuff, and it's going to be really good, and I'm super duper excited for it. So anyway, if you would like to be there, if you would like to be in one of those 2 seats, click the link in the description box. If you have issues with the pay link, then let me know. Feel free to email me, Natalie@Matthews.com, live on Zoom, happening Saturday and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. There's only 4 women that are going to be there, including me, so it'll be 5. And everybody's getting one-on-one coaching. There's a channeled message for everyone. We also do a meditation. It's going to be really good. I highly recommend it. All right, let's wrap up this episode and then we'll be done. So what I told my client during the mini mastermind last weekend was, she was saying she has a fear of gaining weight, and she has a fear of gaining so much weight and ending up single and alone because nobody's going to love her because she's going to weigh too much. And I told her, because I know her, we have a personal relationship, and I told her, I know you, and I know the way that you behave, and I know the way that you take care of your body, and I know the actions that you create. She's a woman who lives a very active lifestyle, and she is also very conscious about the foods that she puts into her body. So based on your current actions and based on the kind of woman that you are, it would be impossible for you to create that experience where you magically gain a whole bunch of weight. Weight gain does not happen on accident, and you're not someone, based on the choices and decisions, the habits that you've already created, that you continue to strengthen every single day. You're not somebody who that would happen to. That's impossible. And then we also talked about how she was correlating her weight with her self-worth, and that's another shift for another time. But that was the bulk of what I lovingly reminded myself. You're not your parents. I was not raised by people who had self-esteem. It's not that my parents couldn't be together in a relationship and stay together in a relationship. It's that my parents never committed to doing the work. My parents didn't commit to following through. My parents didn't commit to the intimacy and the vulnerability that it takes to create long-lasting, healthy, and sustainable love. And so they got together, and it was great when the honeymoon phase was honeymooning, and then when there was the normal misunderstandings and miscommunications and being triggered that happens in any relationship, they both ran away. They would break up, and then they would do it again. And so the piece that they were missing was not loving each other. The piece that they were missing was not being soulmates. The piece that they were missing was the follow through that comes from self-esteem. It was the commitment to the solution. They didn't have a commitment to the solution when it was difficult. They didn't have a commitment to the solution when it was challenging. That's not me. I'm not the kind of woman who tries and then fails and then gives up and then tries again and then fails and gives up. I'm the woman who keeps going until I get what I wanted. I'm very consistent and I'm very steady and I'm very reliable. And I have been operating in my romantic life in an erratic way because it's like I was walking out the story that had been played before me, and then I realized, wait a second, like this is not even who I am. I don't have to behave in this way. I don't have to have this experience. I don't have to expect this. I don't have to co-create this. And also, it's not in alignment with who I am. It's not in alignment with my identity to create this. I'm not my parents because I don't behave in the way that my parents behaved. I'm not going to magically wake up one day and have a life where I am making horrible, terrible choices, choosing the wrong person, being in a terrible cycle, and ruining my own life and the lives of my children. That is completely out of character for me. A relationship would not get to a place of having children for me if there was not safety and security and stability. A relationship wouldn't get to a place of having sex if there was not stability and safety and security. That's very different than my parents. No shade. I'm a woman who behaves differently, and I'm not saying I'll never have a divorce. I don't want to have a divorce. I'm not saying I'll never have a divorce. I'm saying I don't have to worry about creating the same cycles that were modeled for me because I behave differently. I'm not my parents. That was my fear. I'm really good at forgiving. I'm really good at releasing. Forgiveness for me is I'm not going to hold this over your head, whatever. I release it. I let it go. I release the past back to the past. I'm not going to hold this over your head. I'm really good at forgiving. Sometimes I hold grudges because it's very entertaining for my audience, right? But mostly I'm really good at forgiving. And I don't actually hold those grudges like intentionally. Sometimes it's funny to say stuff. Anyway, so I realized I haven't been forgiving and I have been closed off and I have been, not just in this connection with this guy, but just in general, in love, in relationship, in romance, I have been unwilling to forgive and to create repair because I have been walking out a story that was modeled for me. I have been repeating behaviors that I saw and that I observed, even though I didn't want to. Sometimes you try so hard not to do something that you end up doing the thing because you get what you focus on. I focus so much on, I don't want to do the breakup to make up thing, that I ended up creating my own relationship dynamic where sometimes I'm on, sometimes I'm off, sometimes I'm on, sometimes I'm off. I'm breaking up to make up in my own head. Not consciously, but subconsciously. Because I don't want to do it. And so I'm walking away so that I don't do it. But then in my heart I feel like I should. So then it's fine. And I forgive myself. So that's the shift. The shift is instead of focusing on what you don't want, because you're going to get whatever you focus on. Instead of focusing on, don't want to be like my parents, I focus on what I want to be, what I want to create, where I want to go, the kind of woman that I am. I am the kind of woman who creates stability for herself in her own life. I'm the kind of woman who shows up for what she wants and desires. I am the kind of woman who experiences solutions. I'm at a point in my journey where my romantic life is not on brand for me. I was realizing like the drama and the chaos and like the ups and the downs, all that. I'm like, this is not who I am. This is what I saw growing up. This is not the kind of woman that I am. I don't have drama. I'm dramatic. That'll never change. Bitch like me is theatrical. You're welcome. Life would be boring if I wasn't in it. You are so welcome for that. For free, mind you. But I'm not somebody who thrives in chaos. I'm somebody who gets stressed out in chaos. I hate chaos. I need calm. I need peace. I need security. I need to fucking chillax. So the realization is I'm okay and I'm safe. And I get to identify as the woman who creates safety and security and consistency in every single aspect of her life. And it's just a reminder and affirmation. I'm not my parents. I can forgive and I can create repair in a soulmate relationship without repeating my parents' mistakes. Because I'm not my parents. I've grown, I have expanded, I have healed, I have overcome, I have released. I establish healthy patterns of behavior and communicating and connecting with other human beings all the time. I get better all the time. Based on my actions and my behavior, there is no realm of reality where I recreate my childhood experience with my children. It does not happen. Because my childhood experience was not random. I make conscious choices and decisions that create a better life for myself and for my future children. I can trust that. I can count on that. I can rely on that. And the last thing I'll say is this is about self-trust. So this mindset shift of I'm not going to be like my parents, it's going to be easier for you to believe that the more that you practice walking it like you talk it. Show yourself with your actions, with your commitment, that you are a different person than your parents, that you are showing up in a different way, that you are committed to creating something different. It's not about your perfection. It's not about never making a mistake. It's about your commitment. What are you committed to? And it's going to be easier to believe yourself once you've shown yourself. I know all the time in manifestation we talk about you've got to believe it and then you can see it. But when it comes to your relationship with yourself, when it comes to your trust, your self-trust, you feeling safe with yourself, you can start building that right here and right now. Before you believe it, you can make the conscious choice and decision to show up for yourself daily. That can look like reflecting. That can look like journaling. That can look like EFT tapping. That can look like meditating. You can show up and communicate to yourself that you're serious every single day. And over time, you'll build out the habit of whatever it is that you're practicing, however it is that you're showing yourself love, however it is that you are demonstrating to yourself that you're committed to becoming better. You'll build up that habit and you'll build out that self-trust. This is now self-confidence. Over time, you will expect yourself to do what you say you're going to do. And so you will trust that you're going to do what you say you're going to do. And that expands into new income goals, your next job. It expands into your relationships. It expands into all of your manifestations. When I say I'm going to do something, I believe it because I show myself that I'm serious. When I say I'm going to do something and I follow through with it, I communicate to myself that I'm serious. I become someone that I respect. That's self-respect, right? And so because I'm someone who respects herself, when I say, okay, I'm going to do this next week. Okay, we're going to have a great Christmas. We're going to get our Christmas tree either next week or the week after. I expect that because I've shown myself time and time again that when I say I'm going to do something, I do it. Self-trust, self-respect, and a sense of safety and security, all of that I have built within myself. Every time I got back up and I went back to the gym, because I told myself that I would. Every time I open my journal up, again, because I said that I would. Every time I do my EFT tapping, again, because I said that I would. All of those little moments add up to self-trust and self-respect and safety and security. You're reliable. Safety is when you're predictable. You create safety within yourself by being a reliable, predictable person for yourself, okay? I love you so much. Thanks for being here. Rate this shit 5 stars. Pile 3. Season 3 is over. Season 4 is coming. I don't know when. It could be next week. It could be 2 weeks after. But we have to get the introduction and everything together. I'm tired of not having it. So season 3 is over. We've had like 50 episodes of season 3. So season 3 just needed to be done. And we need to start fresh with season 4. I love you. Thank you for being here. Rate this shit 5 stars. And if you're not going to rate it 5 stars, then just don't even bother and just don't listen again. Okay? Love you. Bye.